Yo, listen, I don't know about you, but everything I enjoy is usually bad for me. Alright? It's true. Everything I like, for the most part, is normally bad for me. When it comes to food, yeah, that's just what it is. But who says healthy cannot be delicious? On this episode, we're talking to the founders of Ice Candy's Lick Eats Treats. So they manufacture fruit bars from all natural, no artificial flavoring, coloring, or anything. So it's just natural stuff, right? And listen, you need to try out these treats for yourself. From flavors like passion fruit, strawberry, tamarind, mango, they have something for everybody. You can reach them at 721-0675, or you can email them at the email address on the screen. All right, check them out. Let's go.
Hello and welcome, everybody. Welcome to another episode of Family Reflections. I'm Keddy, and she is
Hino.
And we're in here today with Ice Candy, the founders of Ice Candy. If you haven't heard about it, well, today is your lucky day. And yeah, guys, why don't you tell the listeners a little bit about yourselves, introduce yourselves before we get started?
Ladies first.
Okay, my name is Melinda Thomas Setosh, and I am one of the founders of Ice Candy. I am a teacher at the PI Secondary School. And this is?
Yeah, Marvin Setosh. Well, cousin to Mr. Emmanuel right there. Yeah, and I'm currently employed with Wasco. Yeah, that's pretty much. And I'm a co-founder of Ice Candy. Yep.
And we are husband and wife.
All right, husband and wife, business partners, and you guys seem to have a lot going on. Can you tell us a little bit about this whole journey? How did you guys get started with Ice Candy?
Okay, so Ice Candy was registered in the year 2018 in the month of November. And this business came about through a need that I had. When I graduated, I found it difficult to find a job. And so I spent years at home seeking a job. And although I worked with my father in his construction company, with construction, it's not something that it is seasonal. So therefore I would have work for a period of time, and after I would be at home. And my husband at the time, and he still is, well, right now it's better, but he was the sole breadwinner. And being the type of person that I am, I felt the need to assist my husband, because being the sole breadwinner, a lot of responsibility is placed upon him. And so I felt a need to want to help him. And we spoke about it, we sat down and we looked at different avenues that we could have explored. We did our research, months and months of research. We got exhausted after a while because nothing was pulling through. It's like everything was beyond and above our means. We started looking at our skills and what we love to do. And we found that we learned, even in courtship, that we love creating. He's very technical. I love creating. And we just looked at that area, and I could have remembered that my mother in the year 2000, she had a small ice pop business, but it was short-lived. It was not long. And I said to Marvin, hey, my mother had an ice pop business, and it went extremely well, with young people. And he was like, that sounds like a good idea. And he recalled that his mother did something along that lines as well. So we said, hey, here's the idea. We should jump on board and start that business, and from there, we've been working together to grow, and we're thinking of expanding. We're on the verge of expanding our business, and this is where Ice Candy is now.
So that's just a brief history, but it goes deeper, bro. The challenges, and we've been there. We can say we've done nothing. It has been extremely difficult journey to get to where we are right now. Yeah.
Yeah, well, I definitely admire entrepreneurship and entrepreneurs. So I'm really excited about this conversation. The first thing that stands out to me is you mentioned that your father has a business, right? And your mom also had something along the lines of ice candy. So was entrepreneurship something that you observed growing up? Is this something that was uh, kind of part of your childhood, and would you say it translated into your adult life?
Okay, I could say that that is not something that I looked forward to at one point in time. Yes, I grew up in a family that is business oriented, and Marvin too. He grew up in the same kind of environment, but I was more leaning towards education, guidance and counseling. And then, um, as a result of having a few difficulties, I felt that I needed to, find something else, find another way, because the door of employment is not opening. And there are things that I can try. There's another area that I can look towards. So I did not see myself as an entrepreneur. It just came about through experience, through circumstances. Like I said, there was a need that I had, and then there was also a need that I believe that a lot of young people have. And then unemployment is something that is very high in St. Lucia, not just St. Lucia, but around the world and the Caribbean. So we saw that problem, and we sought to provide solution to that problem.
All right. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. And just for the sake of the viewers and listeners, um, I want to define entrepreneurship. And every time I say the word, I'm proud because I spent most of my life not being able not being able to say the word. Uh, but the definition, guys, for anybody watching or listening, is that entrepreneurship is the activity of setting up a business or businesses and taking on financial risk in the hope of profit, right? So that's exactly what it means there. Kina, you have any thoughts before we hop in to the rest?
No, let's hop right into it because I have some really burning questions for our entrepreneurs.
All right, let's hop right into it. But there is something I wanted to share right before we continue. Right, so in my research for this episode, I was doing a little, just looking back at what entrepreneurship has meant in the past and the history of the wood. So apparently, the wood is actually French. That's why it's hard for some people to say, because it's kind of like a crossroad between an English wood that's been borrowed from the French language. And before the word was borrowed from the French, in Old England, they used the word adventurer to refer to entrepreneurs, which I think is very interesting given the journey of many entrepreneurs. So that was interesting to me. It might be interesting to you too, but I just wanted to share that.
Well, the definition, it makes sense. I mean, the guys know what they're talking about. But from experiencing what it is to be an entrepreneur, to me, it's more than that definition of just wanting to make a profit. To me, it's something that stems from a desire. It stems from an inward passion to be expressed to the world.
All right.
You understand? It's because when it becomes a business, but it has to be part of your purpose. It has to be something that you want to share with the world, something that maybe you were lacking and you're trying to create a solution
All right.
to. You understand? So it
And
stems
it's
from,
like most
yeah,
it's like most entrepreneurs, it's more of an expression of their creativity to the public. And
right,
like you said, that derives from a passion.
right. So it's more than just starting a business. That's how more than just starting a business, more than just wanting to make a profit.
All right.
That's what it is. They should expand on that definition.
Mhm.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that they did say in the hope of making a profit.
True.
Right.
And that is definitely right in the hope of, because you're not guaranteed to make a
You're
profit.
not guaranteed a profit, yes. So
Right. Yeah, and that immediately makes me think about the obstacles that you mentioned, because you did mention that that was a brief introduction to how Ice Candy was started. So I'm wondering a little bit about the obstacles that you've overcome, the obstacles that you may be overcoming, and how your journey has been in that regard.
Yeah. Go ahead. Or, you know,
Yeah, it's been difficult. At first, we did not have the startup capital, so we relied a lot on the little monies that we had coming in. Like I was saying previously, I worked with my father for, off and on seasons, and that money I saved, and likewise he saved. So we pulled our monies together, and we tried to make it work, but it was not enough. So we went around seeking investors. At that time, I don't think that people,
nobody
how
took
would
us
we say that?
serious.
Nobody really took us serious.
Yeah.
Maybe they felt that it was a joke. I'm not sure. I'm not in their mind, so I cannot really see what they were thinking at the time. But we pushed forward, and we went to my dad and his mom, more business oriented people. And I think again, they had a little understanding as to where we were coming from. And they saw the passion in us. And they became angel investors. And having them contributing to some part of the finances, we still had work to do, work that was far beyond us, because we thought what we would be like, okay, we have this business and bam, we can jump into it right away. But we had so many things to consider, um, setting up a business plan, networking. We had to look into the different organizations available for young people to assist in starting up businesses. We had to take a few courses. We did workshops and all of that. So we did not have a lot of experience in that area. We were learning as we went along, and we learned quite a lot. So startup capital, that was one of the issues that we had, but we were soon able to overcome by selling a few of our liquids at the school. So when I was off work, I used to take a walk to Plainview Combined School and sell to the students. His mom used to have a little cooler selling to the students by the gate. And
Also in Viewport as well.
in Viewport, we took a walk around Viewport, and it wasn't what it is now.
Right.
It was so much different back
yeah.
in the time. But we got reviews from a lot of people, and we were always concerned about the reaction of our customers.
Right.
Would they enjoy that? How are they thinking of the product? And based on the feedback that we got from people, we were able to make changes and develop our products and make it much better. So startup capital, what would you say is one of our obstacles?
Another thing that came to our surprise is when we went to the health department, right? Because we thought it was like, yeah, we could just start a business and maybe do it in the house or something, but it was more than just that.
Yeah.
When we went to the health department, they gave us a list of requirements that we needed in terms of, the facility and all that, all these sort of things that we needed to put into place. And here's another setback that we had, the other setback that we had in setting up a place. And her dad was extremely instrumental in getting us a place. Well, the business is now located in a 40-foot container, which was retrofitted. Since he's a contractor, he gave that to us, so
Right.
yeah. So
we had to put in a
we had
lot
to
of
put in a
work
lot of work.
and pull in our
Our own
resources
resources,
and to make it
Yeah.
happen.
No, I mean that's beautiful right there in how exactly you went about conquering some of those obstacles, especially the first one there about startup capital, right? Because oftentimes when people have an idea and they think of a great idea that they want to do, a lot of people I've encountered would say, "Oh, that's a man like pusa,"
Yeah.
and then that's it.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of great ideas go to die, you know. And,
Oh yeah,
and
we actually got to that point. We don't have the money. How do we get? Because when we are actually online looking for, okay, we doing it at the house now. We started, with our freezers. We purchased 2 freezers, And oh yeah, we forgot about that.
Yes.
Yeah, we purchased 2 freezers to get started now. You know, with the popsicles, every 4 hours we would have to be going into the freezers to try to stick the things. You know, it was how would you say the Stone Age process before we had the machine.
Right.
You know, so that's how we got started with our sampling and everything. You know, we used to have to wake up sometimes midnight to get the stuff going and
1 o'clock in the
1 o'clock in the
morning,
morning and
up
just
until 4 o'clock in the morning.
yeah,
Yeah.
blending, trying different recipes and all that sort of stuff just to get going. So that was one of the we never want to go back there. Yeah, that was one of the obstacles. Yeah. So yeah man. And then going online, looking at the machinery. Okay, we have no money for that.
Yes.
How do we get the money? You know, so we went to God, we started praying about it. And we don't know, things just started working out. Like you can call it a miracle, but the money started coming in. I mean, we did little jobs on our side. We
Side
even
jobs.
did
Yeah.
taxi at one point in
Yes.
time.
We did
Yeah,
taxi at one point in time to
yeah,
get
yeah.
some money. Yes.
Oh yeah, we did taxi, and you know I'm a musician. I play gigs as well.
Right.
All these little funds we pulled in from these resources, and you know we inputted them into the business as well. So finally, we got to a point now, which was another obstacle where, all right, things were not working out. The business, it wasn't too of a great idea now because of the feedback we got from family, friends, and even some people that we went to for funding. It was like they didn't take us too serious, right? So at one point in time, we were in our room and we were like, all right, we have the funds now to purchase the machinery. What should we do? Should we continue or should we just finish with that? And we have the funds now, you know. Should we continue or should Melinda was so, you know, depressed and like that's not going to work out. And my thing to her was either we jump into it and we never turn back, or we just finish with that right now.
And we just end it. We don't do anything.
We don't do anything else. Yeah. So that was the point where we came to where the decision was made that we spend the funds, purchase the machinery, or we turn back.
So we took a big leap of faith and we took that risk. We just went forward.
Yeah. And still at that point, purchasing the machinery still had no place at the time yet.
Yes.
So we had a separate room in the house. When the machine got here, we started producing. We had to organize the place a little bit. Still, we could not go to the market as well because of the place we were at. So we just used that to do samples, sell for family, you know, that sort of stuff at the time. Yeah. It was a challenging time. Stuff.
So what was, because you told me that you guys sat at the crossroads there and you know it was okay, we're going to either do this or we're not going to do this, right? And what was the thing that caused you to lean towards, okay, let's do this?
I would say our trust in God, because God says that He will never leave us nor forsake us, and we will not be in the valley, and He will not go with us. And we just dwelled on that word. And in that state, you know, I felt that I would have done a disservice to myself, being that we had set up a goal for that business which was to create employment for young people. And I felt like if we did not do that, we were just giving up. We would become failures, and I would not be able to assist my husband. And there we would go again in that same circle, going back and forth, not achieving. So I felt a big weight on my shoulder, in that I felt I had a responsibility towards my husband to assist. And we had a responsibility towards young people who were in similar situations to us. Like I said, unemployment is an issue. And so had I not done that and we had not taken a step forward, I don't think we would have ever gotten this far.
Yeah. Because to me, it was like we had gotten to a point where we had gone so far. And we got mixed reviews at a point in time. Like, and at one point where we actually got some great reviews. I remember there was a junior equivalent activity in Viewport at the recreational park.
Yeah.
And we went around, just selling the product, the sample product at the time. And the reviews we got were like um, surprising. We were not expecting that. That was our final thing. If it didn't work that time, we just finish it up. Yeah. So the reviews we got were 200%. Let's say call it 1,000%. No one gave any bad reviews. So we knew at that point in time we were onto something. So, and then we still didn't have a name for the product at the time. So, yeah.
And I want you guys to be clear to the viewers and listeners on what your product is, right? Because Kina and myself know what you guys are selling. We know what you guys are doing. But if you guys can just share with your listeners, the viewers and listeners, what exactly you produce,
Right.
so they know exactly what we're talking about here.
Okay, so we produce 100% made with real fruit bars. We refrain from using the name Popsicle, because Popsicle is a brand, right? Hence why we stay away from Popsicle, right? Because we can get sued for that.
Yeah, because so, I almost said Popsicle, so
yeah, we stay away from it. I would be extremely careful. Yeah. So Popsicle is a brand. So we decided to brand our fruit bars and call them Lick It, right? Now, that's where it gets interesting. Before we had a name, because everybody is like, Lick It, people go into so deep into it sometimes, and they make so many stories. But why is that name and why not? But we know the history behind the name, right? And it actually catches on because it's actually what you do with the product, right? You could either lick or consume it by biting it because of the texture and everything. The name is everything the product is, right? A brief history on the name. While during the time when the sampling, the blends were being made and all that sort of stuff, our first son at the time, MJ, right? We gave him one of those and it started melting extremely fast. It wasn't what it is now because, with what we have now, it takes a little while before it starts melting, right? What we had before, as soon as he had it, it started melting and you're like, MJ, lick it, my boy, before it drips all over the floor.
And then when I heard the name, right. I said, whoa, Marvin, that's the name. That's it, lick it.
Yeah. And we just went with that from there. Yeah, we just went with it. And we stayed with it and, so we decided to lick it. And that was it from there. Yeah. Yep.
All right.
History on the product name and yeah.
All right. So go ahead.
Continue.
No, go ahead.
Okay. You said that you started in 2018, right? And it was towards the end of 2018. So we have after that a full year, 2019. You have acquired. At what point did you acquire the machinery?
Well, prior we actually was established. The name was registered in 2018, but we started way before that. We started in 16, 17. Yeah, 17, late 16 into 17, right? And then we
just
actually
experimenting with the product.
Yeah. So that was the whole period of time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right. So in 2018 we had the machinery. We were on the verge of building the place and all that sort of stuff. How did we acquire the machinery? So, we actually went online. We ordered the machinery via internet, and so it was delivered to us.
Okay, so you had a full year of your company basically thriving, and then we come into 2020 and we're hit with a pandemic. I basically want to get into the essence of entrepreneurship and startup businesses and how they're being affected by the current pandemic. How was it or how has it been for y'all going through COVID-19, so fresh in starting a business?
It was a major blow in that we were just starting to kick off. Things just started getting really, we had our first outlet that was at the service station at PI. That was a first outlet. The following week, boom, everything fell down. So we were like, we had the product in the freezer. We just had to we started giving it away because, it was nothing to do that we could do at the time. Because the thing at the time was COVID-19, you cannot consume any cold product.
Right.
And
Yeah.
that whole thing just blew us away because we were like, okay, what do we do now? We've spent so much money, we've invested so much time and everything in there, and the pandemic crushed everything. But we still had high hopes because we at that point in time we had friends, family that still supported. They would come and purchase packets of the product from us at the time, even during the pandemic. So we still were able to, get some little funding coming in that we could reinvest at the time. So we saw absolutely no profit at that point in time. Yeah. So as things began cooling off a bit, we just started picking off and started going up to get retailers again. So yeah. So it has been a little tough.
So coming out of that, have y'all had any pivoting? Have y'all had to do any pivoting in terms of a new trend or probably remarketing or something with your product in terms of actually not having to give, trying to still access the market of consumers?
Yeah, actually, to me, we did some. We started advertising more. We made a couple ads, right? And we just kicked off again. It wasn't something where we were so established that we had employees working for us and that sort of stuff already that we had to stop operations. It was not so. So we felt a bit blessed in a sense that we had not gone that far where we had to pull back. So it was like we were just starting off, and we could have just pick up from there and continue. So we started advertising, going to the retailers, and we were surprised at the responses. They were with open arms. Our first major outlet was Family Food Mart, and they embraced us, and we started with them, and then it just went uphill from there.
Yes.
Yep.
Are there any special requirements that you need to meet before you can get distributed by someone like that?
Yeah, definitely. Well, your health licenses for one.
The facility.
Yeah, well, that comes with the health department coming in to inspect your facility, seeing the manner in which you produce the product and that sort of stuff. As long as you meet these requirements, you're free to go. Yep.
Okay. Yeah. So the other question on my mind, Kino, were you about to say something there? Okay. So the other question on my mind. Yeah, the other question on my mind is a little bit more about balance. I know, both of you guys are working. There seem to be all these multiple threads pulling for your attention, right? I know you have children. I know you have work. I know you have you have each other, right? You have to make time for your relationship. So there are all these multiple things that you have pulling at you at the same time. How have you managed to balance all these things and maintain balance as you pursue this venture?
Balancing is not easy, my brother. Balancing.
We can say that we have a very strong support system.
That's right. Yeah.
And whenever we need help, we can rely on our relatives. They're always there for us. And we also have our church family who have been supporting us as well. We take time to do some self-care together. We take our little walks on the beach sometimes. We socialize with friends. He's a musician, so I get invited to his activities. That helps us, release some of the stress that we have. And what else have we been doing to balance everything out? Prayer, I would say, prayer, most important thing, because I believe that God is the source of everything. And so we never leave home without praying. Everything we just go to God. We pray about it. Right. And that has helped us balance.
Yeah, because when you get with so much going on, I do more than just the music. I'm a technical person. Work is one, and then I also service computers and CCTV and all that sort of stuff for people. So at times it gets really demanding on me. At one point, it was so hectic that my wife was like, "But Marvin, you're never home. You need to spend time with us. You get home late. As soon as you come from work, you have to go to a gig or you have to go do something, So I had to find some point where I had to, break off some things or I started scheduling my activities, and yeah, it has been a challenge to let go of certain stuff, otherwise these things would have brought in some income. So, there's a point in your life where you have to let go of certain things to grow. And I thought that maybe letting go of these things would probably, put a dent in our wallet. And then, but actually, God opened up different other doors that, started working out for us. So you just have to let go and let God as Marvin said, So
and things happen so perfectly whilst trying to grow this business. Remember, I said that I was not employed, and then I worked with my dad, but then one season I would have work, and then I'll be home. And this business, it helped me develop myself. I had to now put myself out there and market things that I never thought that I could have done. And like I recall you asking me the question of entrepreneurship. You asked whether I knew from the start that that is what I wanted to do. I never knew that I had that potential within me. I never knew that I had these qualities, and it brought it out. And I found myself sitting in business rooms. I found myself speaking to officials and people that I never thought I could have spoken to and open up myself to. And I did that. And then from there, the door started opening. I found employment. I started working at Binfield Comprehensive Secondary School. And from there, I went to Angers, receiving good recommendations. I'm now at PI Secondary School. So the door of opportunity has opened for me. So entrepreneurship is something that pushes you. It is something that helps you to develop yourself. If you have a few weaknesses in areas where you feel that you struggle or you are inadequate, it helps you develop that. And I thank God that, sometimes we have a few setbacks, but it is just Him directing us to where He wants us to go and what He wants us to do. So right now, I am now employed, and then we are trying to balance, this business. We're not going to end. People are saying, okay, now that you are employed, why not give up the business?
Right.
But the purpose of the business is now to create employment for other young people who don't have jobs available to them. And we need entrepreneurs because they are the one creating they're actually paving the way for other young people to find employment. So this business, as we see it must continue, and it has been doing extremely well, and doors have been opening, and we're in the stage where we're going to expand very soon. Thank God for that. So that is where we are now.
So we are at the point where we're looking for some young person who has the passion as well, because we don't do, and actually we now understand what employers look for when they hire people. in the establishment. They look for passionate young people who are willing to work and drive the creativity as well. It's not just because of the money or whatever it is, right? Young people that are passionate about seeing the vision and driving it forward. And that is what we're looking for in a young person. So pretty soon we're going to be employing somebody, our first employee, and we'll take it from there. And God will open up the doors afterwards.
Yeah, I think you might be getting some calls after this episode.
Definitely.
Ah,
Yeah.
Yeah. So out the gate, one of the main things that you mentioned just there is that it takes the entrepreneur outside of the venture, or basically entrepreneurship is not just developing you for the business that you're working on, but even beyond that, as a person, you're growing outside of this business that you're starting, right? Is that kind of what you meant by what you said?
yes, definitely.
Yeah, so that's something I think I can identify with in my own life. A lot of the things that I've been working on, family reflections included, have have really taught me a lot of things that I use even beyond the given venture. So, for example, hosting. I used to think that hosting was very easy. I thought it was just somebody coming on here and you just say a few things, you ask a few questions, and that was it. But there's actually a lot more to it that I've been learning, and I could go on and on about all these skills. Video editing, uh, all these things come into play, and you develop much more as a person. So I really want to hop on that. I think that's a very useful thing that you shared there.
Yeah, and part of the experience is meeting people, meeting new people. The more people you meet, the you develop into a better person. You know, because you get to share ideas, the experiences. You can apply certain experiences they've had to your life as well. So it makes you a well-rounded individual. You know, so certain places where you were weak, it makes you strong. So that is part of the beauty of being an entrepreneur. You know?
All right, absolutely. Kina, you have any thoughts?
I want to shift gears in looking at the whole entrepreneurial industry and the many blows that is right now, again with the pandemic. Do you think that will change the way entrepreneurship will be perceived as a career choice in future?
Um, it may well we cannot predict with what's happening now. We cannot pinpoint and predict what exactly is going to happen. But
Well, we're we're
from
we're looking at we're looking at the looking at the blows. We're looking at the constant setbacks, especially with startup businesses like yours, and possibly the lack of government interference, right, in terms of helping the industry itself. Do you see young people like myself wanting to go the entrepreneurship route, seeing how difficult and taxing it is right now with the unforeseen?
that's what entrepreneurship is for one. Not foreseeing the future and just jumping into it because you have the passion for it. However, um, it's not conducive for entrepreneurs at this point in time because a lot of people that probably thinking about doing their own business, they'll probably look at all these factors and give up and just decide maybe the easiest route to just go work for an organization, but still at that point there's still a problem where there's lack of employment. So then you find a lot of young people maybe just leaning back, deciding to stay home, and you fall into the pit where you decide to stay home and you get comfortable, you get complacent, there's no jobs around. I want to start my own business, but there's no funding. how do I start? So you get discouraged and you decide to just give up. And a lot of young people are falling into that sort of thing, you know.
But now I'm seeing a different pattern. A lot of young people are expressing that they want to become entrepreneurs, but they do not fully understand what they're going to jump into. And we are part of different, how would we say, we are part of different groups. And we liaise with young people and we try to encourage them. We try to have them to do their own research. It's just not about jumping into a business. You have to do your market research. You have to know what the economy is like right now. Is your business idea going to pull through? Is there an opportunity for you? Are you targeting the right customers? So all of these things come into play. It is possible. I would not look at it from a pessimistic point of view. There is hope. There is hope. I don't think that we should just leave it as that and say, yes, there's COVID-19 and we should just end it right there. We should not give up because greatness is achieved in struggle. And I believe that solution is to get to a point where we become self-sustainable because we're importing so many goods, whereas we have potential people down here. We have young people that have great business ideas and they're just waiting for a knock on the door. And they have done everything that they could. And, you know, like we have been mentioning, startup capital is something that can pose as an obstacle to them. But regardless, you as an entrepreneur, having the passion for it, you just have the motive to just go forward, to move on, to try, to not stop. And entrepreneurship is something that I believe anybody can get into it, but it is not for everyone. We have the perception that we can do everything that somebody else does. So everybody wants to become a doctor. Everybody wants to become a teacher. Everybody wants to become a pastor, whatever, but it might not be for you. It might be for somebody else because as an entrepreneur, there are skills that you require. Risk taking is a skill that you require. You need to work hard. You need to, like we've always been mentioning, be passionate. Because when these obstacles come, it could either send you away from it and then you choose not to continue, or it could push you forward.
Right.
So entrepreneurship is something that you should not take lightly. It sounds good. It sounds fun. It sounds easy.
Right.
But with every profession, there are difficulties and there are things that you have to overcome. So it is not for everyone. However, if you are passionate about it and you know that there's an area that you want to go into, then go ahead. Yeah. But just know that you will find obstacles, but there's nothing that you cannot overcome. Like we have been saying, network, speak to people, do your research, go to the government website and find out information from them. You have SEDU that's available for young people. They provide training in different areas. You have commerce, right?
Yeah.
Yes. So you have these different organizations that are willing to help. They might not be able to provide you the funds, but at least that you have the knowledge and the education, that will be a stepping stone to where you want to get to.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's very important to educate yourself. I've not been too keen on somebody who's too keen about reading books or whatever, but as I developed as an individual, because I remember growing up as a young child, my mother would always, Marvin, read, you need to read more books. But I was like, yeah, whatever. You know, but as I developed as a person, I started getting into different books. And there's one book in particular I read, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. Right? Yeah, I actually read that book maybe a month, less than a month, because you know I was passionate about getting into the whole business thing. You know? And my wife never read the book, but the ideas and the thing inside, I actually shared everything with her. So that kind of was one of the things that propelled us into getting, you know, into it and gave us the motivation. Every time I felt a bit, you know, lost, I went to read another chapter and I got into it, and then with that motivation, I propelled my wife as well. Let's go, let's go, let's go. Let's not give up, because Thomas Edison, he did it. And we watched a couple movies. There's one actually we watched that brought tears to my wife's eyes. There's a what's the name again? Um, a lady. She had a business. She started a hair growth product, right? And she went through similar struggles as an entrepreneur. She was married and think, and they did so many things, and she had some tough competition ahead. And at the end of the day, she became victorious. And my wife was very extremely motivated by that, because seeing a young black woman propelling herself into to that sort of thing. And yeah, so we've been.
Yeah, I think those films and books can serve to provide some huge inspiration, and we shouldn't take those for granted. And one thing I wanted to mention, as you guys were speaking there, it occurred to me that a lot of people uh, don't they don't pursue some entrepreneurial ideas because they feel like they either have to do either or. Either I work for this company and um, be safe in my current situation, or I can just leave my job and leave everything and then just focus on building this business. But that's not always true. You can do more than one thing. You can work on your business ideas, you can work on your entrepreneurial ideas, and also uh, work a 9 to 5, work a regular job at the same time, right?
Yeah. Well, it's not the same for everyone. Um, Everyone has their own canvas that they probably need to, when you start painting it, you go in whichever direction that God leads you. So if it's something that you can handle at the time, go for it. If you someone who decides, because eventually the business will grow into something major, then you fall into the decision making. Should you continue with the establishment, or should you let go and go headfirst into your own business? And that's where it gets
Tougher.
tough. Tough. I guess it gets more difficult,
Yeah, that's
as
what it is.
yeah. Yep.
No, I can see that. One more question that came to my mind, and this is my last question because I could just keep going. But one more question that came to my mind is you mentioned that, similar to teaching not being for everyone, sometimes entrepreneurship might not be for everyone. But the question that comes to my mind is, when do I know that it's not for me? Because there's that line between, okay, I'm going to be determined and work through it and push through. But then where do you cross the line into, okay, now I've established that this isn't for me. So how do you know that it's not for you? Does that make sense?
Yeah, it makes sense.
Yeah, after a point in time, you maybe start doing something. Um, that there's a fine line between because it may not be for you, but you determine you've educated yourself about it, and you become a better individual. But there's a point where maybe you've tried, you're not successful. You've tried so many times, 2 million times, and then you still not thing, and then you give up. And then you would know is your passion. Because if you don't have the passion for it, then it will not be for you. Because maybe your underlying motive was, I'll get into that to make money. I'll make tons of money doing that, and then that was your motivation,
Right.
the money at the end of the day.
Right.
But then on the other end, someone who it is for would not be determined by the money. They
Right.
would go with the passion. So I think that is the difference in the thinking is the difference,
Mhm.
you know. So
And
I agree with Marvin.
the mindset here.
I agree as well. But also, there is something called hidden talent, and sometimes you have something built in you that you never knew of. And that brings to mind the Johari window. It's a theory that counselors use. And basically what it is about is that there are certain things that you see in yourself that people can see in you. And there are areas that you just don't know about yourself. However, people are able to see certain qualities in you and you will hear it from them. They would say to you that, okay, wow, you do very good as a spokesperson.
Yeah.
I
You
think
should
you
try.
can become an MC or you will become an MC one day. You never really realized it. You've been using the talent, and but it took somebody around to bring you to help you gain that awareness. So I think you would know if it is for you based on what people have been saying to you. Not all criticisms are good because there are constructive criticism, and so people can push you towards in that direction. Um, like Marvin is saying, passion too. You have the passion for it. You have the qualities. So you want to become an MC regularly on a daily basis. You look at yourself in a mirror and you project yourself and you speak with that enthusiasm. You know, you just have that quality in you that makes you realize, hey, that is my pathway. That is a career that I can choose for myself. And in school, one of the things that teachers normally do when they're about to select a career or job opportunity, they do personality tests. And also they look at their passion, they look at their strengths, they look at their weaknesses. Okay. And they would, teachers are better able to guide you based on what the different personalities that you express and what they see in you. So it takes people around you to help you recognize that you have the qualities for it. It takes passion. It takes knowledge as well. Knowledge is a big part of it too.
Yeah, you
So yeah, so
need to know what you're about, what you're
Mhm.
getting into at times. Although there are times you get to, when you've established a business, you get to some parts where you have to make certain decisions and you're not too quite aware of what you're getting into. But you do it either anyway.
Okay.
You understand? Because there are times it doesn't have to try. It's either two things may happen. You succeed or you fail.
Yeah.
And failing is even more successful than being successful. If you get what I mean.
Yeah,
The more
because
you
yeah,
fail,
you
the more
learn.
you fail, the more you become to see what
yeah.
you've done wrong and what you can improve on.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And failing is the solution to success.
Yeah.
So that is what I'll tell all young people that the more you fail, the better for you. You try in different things. You
Yes.
try in different options. See what works. See what people don't like. See what they enjoy, and through that you get to know how to develop your product
Mhm.
and yourself as well.
Yeah. So it is okay to fail.
It was okay to fail.
It is
Yes.
okay to fall down and to get up. And
Yeah.
that's one of the things that young people don't hear a lot. We
Right.
live in a society where you have to be perfect. You have to have things
Yeah.
organized and you have to be how society wants you to be. But it's okay because great things come under pressure. Great things come with struggle. So it's okay to fail.
As long
Absolutely.
as you're on the right path, that's what it is.
Yes.
Set yourself on the right path, and there'll be shortcomings along the way,
Yes.
but you're on the right path.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to go back to watch this episode when I need some motivation. Eh? Yeah, man. Those are some very well said facts, and I'll be taking some of these myself and running with them. Um, yeah. Kina, do you have anything else for the viewers or listeners, or for Marvin and Melinda?
I think they've put everything perfectly. And I completely agree with Marvin when he said about having the passion. And if you don't have passion, then you know it's not for you. Because when you have a passion to do something, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, you may not succeed right away, but because of that passion, you will keep trying and keep trying and keep trying. But somebody who's in it for the money will give up overnight because they want it right away and they're not getting the result. So yeah, passion has a lot to do with entrepreneurship.
Mhm.
Yep.
And I, I think some of that also is personality as well, right? Because I'll tell you guys a little bit about myself. when I start working on ventures, I have ideas and I start working on things. My gut instinct is, oh yeah, this should work. Everything should be done already. You expected to see all the success immediately. Like you want the success right now. And I have to stop myself and say, okay, hold on. You know, just some things take time, you have to put in the work. You have to really ride the wave out sometimes to see the efforts pay off, And so if you're like me and you're watching this, yeah, hang in there. Take some time. Yeah, slow down a little bit, you know?
But you also must be willing to work at it. Okay, you must all
Right,
willing to sacrifice a lot and
right,
put a lot of your own finances and other material stuff into the business. You cannot want
right,
to be going out of a business and not want to put in any investment and just think government will hand you the money, or
Right.
yeah,
SLDP or any of these other agencies will just give you the money to
right,
start up. You have to be willing to take that risk on yourself.
right. Absolutely. And I think the risk in and of itself is often the incentive as well, because now that you've put up this money and you've put up this time, it's an incentive to work and make sure it pays off,
Mm-hmm.
uh,
Right.
versus you just receiving a check from somebody and saying, okay,
I think
you
the
know,
same, bro. You know what burns your passion? If you get everything one time. Like say you started off a business and you need $10,000 to start, and it was just handed to you.
right,
Yeah.
At that point in time, that is, it was handed to you. You lose all motivation and desire that you had for
Mm-hmm.
that business because you got it so easy that yeah, I got it easy that you know whatever. You understand? I can get
right,
it again. So you become comfortable. When you work towards it and you get a little 500 there, a little 500 here, it builds your stamina, if that's a word I should be using. It builds your motivation, your enthusiasm to get to the next step. Because with doing any business, you get to a point, then there's a period of where you get to a plateau. You in a desert, you don't know where to go again. Then you get a little, so it's like an adrenaline rush. Every time you
yeah,
get the little 500, you motivated to push and push. And then whereas you just get it one time and then there's no thing. You just get the high right away. And then when the high dies off,
right,
you're done. You're done for. So,
yeah. And that's applicable to so many things in life, right?
oh yeah.
Yeah. So I think that's a good point. Uh, unless anybody has anything else, I think we can shut the door. Um, folks, if you're watching this, I'm not asking you, I'm telling you. You have to check out Lick Eats. You have to check out Ice Candy. You have to make sure that you support them. Head over to their page, like it, share it. Do everything you can to make sure that people hear about this fledgling business. And yeah, we'll be in here again on. Y'all know I always have to check the date for y'all, even though I should do it way in advance. We'll be in here again on the 18th. All right. So see you soon. Marvin and Melinda, Eminem. Thank you.
Yeah, we could have gone there that way. If people need to get to us, they could use the Instagram, Facebook platform, right? Our telephone number is 721-0675. I'll
Right.
repeat it, 721-0675, and Facebook, Ice Candy 758, also at Instagram as well. So this is where you could get us and contact us, make your orders as well. And then another thing we strive for, because of the whole economic situation
Yeah.
and the way that people live in, there's a lot of fast food around, and we strive for healthy living, healthy eating. So that is where our slogan comes from as well. Deliciously healthy. So we push to.
Wonderful.
So thank you for having us.
Deliciously healthy. I
Deliciously
like
healthy.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. I like that. Yeah, thank you for joining us. I think I really
Yeah.
had a good time.
Oh yeah, definitely,
Yes,
definitely.
well, we do.
All right, viewers and
Yeah.
listeners, thank you for joining us. We'll see you on the 18th. Bye for now.
Bye.